time to move on now to our mini satsang. As you know, we have been chanting the Bhagavad Gita since August, and we have been chanting the 18th Adhyay precisely. And so we are now trying to understand the meaning of the shlokas, maybe just 2 or 3 at a time, so that we understand what we're chanting, and also we can start implementing the teachings of Bhagavan Krishna. Last time we did shlokas 1 to 3, so I'll continue with the 4th shlok today. But before I start the shlok, I want to tell you a small story. And I remember that I did tell you this story even during the COVID time when we had our Zoom satsangs. And it's the story of Guru Dattatreya and his 24 gurus. One of the 24 gurus was a bird. I think it was a crow, or maybe it was a hawk. And this bird had found a piece of flesh, which was very tempting for him to have. So he picked it up in his beak, and he was flying towards his nest so the bird could sit quietly and enjoy his feast. But soon he heard a lot of cackling sounds of birds behind him, and when he saw he was being pursued by a horde of birds, and they didn't sound very, kind. They almost were ready to attack him. And he was wondering why they're all following me. Till the thought occurred to him that they don't want to attack me. What they want, what they desire, is the piece of flesh, the meat, which I'm carrying in my beak. And that's why they're pursuing me. And that's why I'm feeling so frightened and insecure and anxious and troubled. What should I do? What should I do? What should I do? He thought. And then it struck him. They're after the meat. So let me go get rid of the meat. So he opened his beak and the flesh fell out. And as soon as it fell down, the birds swerved and moved towards the piece of flesh, and he could fly away to his nest peacefully and safely. What Bhagwan Dattatreya learned from this small little incident that he saw was that when you are attached to some object, or some material object, and you are attached to that only to get some material pleasure, some pleasure to the senses, to the sense organs, some pleasure I'm going to get from this, then that attachment does not allow me to continue my journey in peace. I'm not free. But the minute I let go of that attachment, I can be free and I can continue my flight, my spiritual flight, in freedom and in peace. So if we want to find peace, and everybody is looking for peace, everyone is looking for happiness, the secret is we have to get rid of our attachments to those objects, vishais, which can be an object, could be a person, could be a place, could be a situation, could be an experience. If we let go of those attachments, we will find the peace, the happiness that we are looking for. So a few sentences on the recap of last time. The 18th Adhyay started with Arjun's question to Bhagwan Krishna. What is the difference between renunciation and letting go? Between sannyas, renunciation, and letting go, or tyag. And Bhagwan gave 4 different interpretations from different schools of philosophies. What we have understood so far is that sannyas means renouncing all those actions that are prompted by selfish desires in order to attain some material goal. So sannyas is renouncing actions. It's outside. It's renouncing an action prompted by a selfish desire to fulfill a material goal. And what is tyag then? Tyag is giving up the desire for the fruit of the action that we are going to do. So Tyag is something internal, giving up a desire, and sannyas is giving up an external action. Now, if we were to think about the human nature, our temperament, our innate temperament in humans is to do actions. And the only reason why we do actions is to get the fruit of the action. Otherwise, we wouldn't do anything. If we were not going to get anything, any result, any parinam, any fruit from that action, nobody would do any actions, right? So we do actions only to get the fruit of the action. And here, Bhagwan is saying, Tyag is you give up the desire for any fruit of the action. So this is very difficult. But renouncing an action, would that be easier than just renounce the action? Renouncing the action without giving up the desire for the fruit of the action is absolutely impossible, because it is the fruit of the action is the motivation for you to do the action. If you don't have any expectation of a result, the question of renouncing the action would not occur, because there would be no action that you would do. So what prompts us to do an action is the result. And that is why it is very difficult, even if you give up the action, that desire for the result, that expectation of a particular result will keep poking you from inside. It will keep prompting you, urging you, egging you on till you actually go and do the action. See, sometimes, we get some sankalp. From tomorrow, I'm going to give this up. From tomorrow, I'm going to give that up. That is renouncing. I'm going to renounce eating sweets. I'm going to renounce sleeping late. I'm going to renounce, etc., etc., etc. Right? So I will not, from tomorrow, from today, I will not do X, Y, and Z. But we have not addressed the desire inside us, which is for the fruit of that action, because of which we are doing the action. See, you have a desire, perhaps, to get some work, official work, done unofficially, illegally, quickly. You want to just get it done. But you know that if you go through the whole machinery of the government, it's going to take very long, and it's possible that your work will not get done. Right? That's your desire. You want that to happen. So that desire prompts you, urges you, directs you, commands you almost to go and give a bribe. So if you say, from tomorrow, I am not going to give any bribes, but you have not addressed that desire inside you to get your work done underhand way, then finally you will land up giving the bribe. Let's take a more common example. Some people come and say, from tomorrow, I'm not going to touch alcohol. I'm not going to drink any alcohol. This is my sankalp. But why did you want to drink alcohol in the first place is what you need to analyze. Did you want to feel high? Did you want to feel part of the party? Did you want to forget all your woes and problems and bad day? So you have not addressed that. If you've not addressed that, then finally what will happen? You will go and drink alcohol, even though you have made a sankalp. Okay, binge shopping is another thing. I will stop binge shopping. I will stop going to Amazon and ordering whatever I feel like ordering. But why were you doing it in the first place? That greed which is there for getting more and more and more has not been addressed. Therefore, it makes more sense to address, overcome, deal with the desire which is prompting you to do the action, the desire for the fruit of the action, the desire for the fruit of the action which is prompting the action has to be addressed first before randomly announcing or deciding that you're going to renounce the action itself. Keeping that in mind, therefore, tyag has to come before sannyas. So keeping that in mind, let's go to shlok number 4. Bhagwan says, Nishchayam shinu me tatra tyage bharata sattama Tyago hi purusha vyagra triveda samprakirtitaha. Bhagavan is saying that you asked me about sannyas and you asked me about tyag. So first I'm going to tell you about tyag. Tyag means what? Giving up the desire for the fruit of the action. Okay? Clear, na? So he says that this tyag, this giving up of the fruit of the action can be of three kinds. What are those three kinds? They can be tamasic kind of giving up. It could be a rajasic kind of giving up, or it could be a sattvic giving up of the desire for the fruit of the action. Bhagavan doesn't explain the sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic element right now. But what is important are the two words or names again with which Bhagavan addresses Arjun. If you remember, yes, last time I told you Arjun addresses Bhagavan with three words, three names. Here, Bhagavan is addressing Arjun with two names. What are those two names? Bharata Sattama. Bharata Sattama is most excellent of all the descendants of Bharat. Bharat is the ancestor of the Pandavas and the Kauravas. Bharat was an extremely courageous person. As a young boy, he had opened the mouth of a lion and he was counting the teeth inside the lion's mouth. So by addressing Arjun as a descendant of Bharat, he is reminding Arjun of his noble and valiant and courageous lineage. And by remembering that he's coming from a lineage of valiant warriors and valiant Kshatriyas, he must do his duty. He must be as courageous as them. And the second name, again, to depict his courageousness and his valor, he calls him Purusha Vyagraha, tiger among men, tiger among men. Tiger, as you know, is a very strong animal, and he calls Arjun a strong person. Why? Because Bhagavan is fully aware that the path that Arjun is walking on and the path that Bhagavan Krishna is guiding him on to reach his liberation, to reach moksha, is not a very easy path. And it's a very rare and noble and highly evolved person who has done so much sadhana that his entire life has become disciplined, balanced, sattvic, and so it requires a lot of daivik gunas, lot of divine qualities, and he has the confidence in him. Bhagwan has the confidence in him that these qualities are there, present in Arjun, and he needs to awaken those qualities in Arjun so that Arjun can see himself as that person who is strong enough to walk this path and attain his highest goal. So Bhagwan is showing his recognition of his Shishya. Now, you know, Bhagwan is his guru by now, 18th Adhyay. Arjun has evolved from seeing Bhagwan Krishna as a Sarathi and as a friend and as a relative. He has accepted Bhagwan Krishna as his guru. And a guru does not praise a Shishya just for a lark. A guru does not praise a Shishya just because he wants to get something out of the Shishya. That is not correct. I mean, that's not a correct guru who would do that. And Bhagwan Krishna is a true guru. So he's praising, and as all gurus should do, praise only those who are adhikari of the praise. They should be yogya. They should be adhikari of the praise, and they have to display their yogyata. They have to demonstrate their yogyata through their acharan, through their behavior, through their sadhana, through their actions. And when the guru acknowledges that, the shishya again gets motivated to continue on the path. This is also an excellent management tip when you want to encourage, motivate your employees, see their good qualities, recognize the good work that they're doing, and don't hold back the praise or the compliment. Encourage them to continue doing their good work. So Bhagwan says, Nishchayam Shrinu me tatra tyage. First, I'm going to tell you about tyag. It has been clearly declared, he says in the Shastras, that tyag is of three kinds. What is it? Tyag based on tamas. Tyag based on tamas is when it is based on inertia. You're giving up because you're dull. You're giving up because, you don't want to do it. It's like ignorance. This is based on ignorance. You're simply giving up because you don't want to do anything. This is tamasic tyag. If you base it on rajas, you're giving up out of rajas, out of arrogance, out of pride. I can give up this, I can give up that, I am so strong, I can do this. Then that is also called rajasic tyag. But if you give it up out of purity, in the sense that you want to make yourself pure, then that tyag is called sattvic tyag. So more on this Bhagwan will elaborate in the following shlokas. But let's do one more shlok, number 5. Because the first answer to Arjun's question, difference between tyag and sannyas, he says tyag is of three kinds. Now, let's see what else. Bhagwan says, Yajna dana tapa karma na tyajyam karyameva tat yajnyo danam tapaschaiva pavanani manishinam. Bhagwan says, Yajna, dana, tapa, acts of sacrifice, yajna. Charity, dana. Austerity, penance, tapa. These are three actions which you should not give up, either out of tamas or rajas or sattva. These three you should not give up. Bhagwan is not telling him, give this up, give that up, give that up. He is telling him, don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. What don't give up? Yajna, dan, tapa. See, another beautiful management tip only. As managers, leaders, gurus, parents, we focus on the negative rather than focusing on the positive. Because giving up is not something that comes naturally to humans. It requires a lot of effort. So if Bhagwan focuses now, give up this, thou shalt not, thou shalt not, thou shalt not, then Arjun might tune off. Just as we normally tune off when people dictate to us, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. So Bhagwan is not focusing on the don'ts. Bhagwan is focusing on the do's. This is a very good parenting tip. If you can understand how to use it, if not, come and ask me later, I will tell you. So Bhagwan is telling him, I'm telling you, keep doing these three actions. Focus on doing these three actions. Why? Because to understand this logic of Bhagwan, we have to go back to our spiritual goal. Okay? What is our goal? Union with the divine. Right? Goal is union with the divine. Union with the divine is called yoga. Another word for yoga is moksha. So our goal is moksha, which means union with the divine. Now, union with the divine can be attained in two ways. What is that? One is directly connect with the divine. Directly connect with the divine. Then you can do that through bhakti. You can directly connect with Bhagwan even through gyan, even through dhyan. But there's another way. If you cannot connect directly with the divine, then leave all the things that are not divine. See, if this is taking you towards divine, then you can go there. This is not taking you towards the divine. So if I can't go directly, I can at least remove this. If I remove all the things that don't take me to divine, I'm left with only what is left is what is taking me to divine. So one is directly going there and one is doing tyag of that which is not taking me there. Just like imagine this room was completely dark. Okay, I can't see anything in the dark. So I have two options. Outside there's light. I can just do tyag of this room and go out. I will get light. So one is by doing tyag. The other is I'll put on the switch over there, connect directly. So I will get light. So things that take me directly to the divine, they give me permanent anand. Things that are not divine, they will give me temporary sukh and temporary dukh. So this directly going there, if I connect directly, I will have permanent anand. If I continue on the path that is not divine, sometimes I will have sukh and sometimes I will have dukh. But if I give up this path completely, which is taking me to sukh and dukh, then I have only one path left. And that one path is the one that takes me to Anand. Anand means Yog. Yog means Moksha. Moksha means my goal will be met just by getting rid of the path that is not taking me to my goal. Bhagwan is so humble. He says, this, what I'm telling you now, this is what the wise ones say, Manishinam. The wise ones are saying this. He's attributing this knowledge, this teaching to the wise ones. But the wise ones have got it from Bhagwan himself. So in his humility, Bhagwan says, I'm not telling you anything. The wise ones are telling this to you. So Bhagwan says, what is the bottom line of Bhagwan's answer to Arjun? Acts of sacrifice, acts of charity, acts of austerities are not worth giving up. They must be performed. I'm not telling you what to give up. I'm telling you what you should not give up. Now some questions will come. What are these acts of sacrifice? What are these acts of charity? What are these acts of austerities? So 4 questions arise. What? Why? Why should I not renounce them? Then how? If I have to perform them, then how should I perform them? And 4th, who is the one who has to perform these acts? Okay, so let's go to the first question, and I'll not do more than the first question today. What are these acts? When we say acts of sacrifice, yajna, what does it mean? It means all your duties, your responsibilities, your dharma. How will I know that? They are your nitya karmas. They are your naimitic karmas, which we talked about last time. And how will I know what my nitya karma is and my naimitic karma is? It depends on your varna and it depends on your ashram. So you have to know all this so that you can know what your duties are and you have to perform them. You cannot do tyag of them. You cannot give them up. Okay. So now what all will be covered by this acts of duty and dharma and responsibilities? First is the responsibility towards your body equipment. This body, mind, intellect, this entire equipment, this has been loaned to us for this lifetime. And it has been loaned to us because it is our vehicle in which we will travel to the divine. It has been loaned to us to exhaust our karmas. So just like a library book is loaned to you for reading, and when you finish using that book, you have to give it back to the library in good condition. In the same way, the Panchabhutas have given us this sharir to use during this lifetime, and we need to return it back to Panchabhut at the time when our use of it is over, and we have to return it in good condition. Therefore, our nitya karmas take care of the fact that we have to do our duties towards our body. But that's not all. As we spiritually evolve, our responsibilities expand along with the expansion of our consciousness. So in the beginning, we are just, looking after me and mine and me alone. A time comes when you have to expand that duty to look after your family. After some time, you'll say, no, not just family. I have to look after my community. I have to look after all of Siva, right? And then a time comes when you'll say, not just all of Siva, why not all of society? Why not all the people who make up this entire society? And that's also not enough. Then my responsibility grows to looking after my country. I have duties towards my country. And not only my country, I have duties towards this entire earth. I have to make it eco-friendly. And the entire universe, that is, you become Brahma, you take care of the entire universe. So as we evolve spiritually, human beings also evolve their sense of responsibility. And this is yajna. This is yajna. Not just doing one ritual of lighting a fire or conducting a homa, a havan. This entire thing is an act of sacrifice. Okay. So this cannot be given up. Cannot. Bhagwan is clearly just absolutely irrevocably telling us you cannot give up yajna. Then comes dana. Dana generally is translated as charity, right? So what is charity? That you give something that you possess, you give it to someone else. Generally, it is something that is extra, that you don't really need or you can do without. You don't give what you really need. You always give what is extra, what you don't really need, that you give away in charity. And that is good also, because you have to look after yourself and you have to give only what you have. But the question is, what is it that you actually own? What is it that you actually possess? You possess only what you came into this world with, right? You don't possess anything else. Everything else has been loaned to you for your survival on earth in this lifetime. Our next lifetime, you'll not have the same things. You'll not have the same parents. You'll not have the same children. You'll not have anything. Your children are also not yours. They are loaned to you for this lifetime, right? So what we came in with is our karmas, our vasanas, our sanskars, and unfortunately, we cannot give that away in charity to anyone. No matter how much you want to give charity of your karmas, you can't give them away. You're stuck with them. So what exactly are you going to do dan of? Because you own nothing. So you do dan, whatever has been loaned to you, whatever resources have been loaned to you in this lifetime. The real meaning of dan is that you share those resources with others. For what? For doing your yajna, for looking after yourself, your family, your community, your society, your country, your earth, and the universe. Hoarding your resources or stopping the circulation of your resources creates stagnation in spirituality. It prevents growth, you can say. So the heart, for example, the heart might say one fine day, I'm doing all the hard work, continuously pumping, 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 pumping. And you are doing absolutely nothing, just getting the blood for free. Stomach, you're just getting the blood for free. I'm going to hoard all the blood. I'm doing the work, so I should have all the blood. Will that work? Can the heart survive without giving the blood to the rest of the body? It can't. In the same way, for the higher good of everyone and yourself, hoarding resources is not going to lead you to your spiritual goal. Dan, sharing your resources for doing dharma, not sharing your resources for doing adharma. Clearly understand. Okay, so you can share your knowledge, you can share your talent, you can share your skill, you can share your wealth, you can share your time, you can share your experience, you can share a smile, you can share your love. Hello, let's start doing some daan. Let's do daan in the right way. If you remember in Adhyay 3, we had referred to the cosmic wheel of cooperative action. And by doing daan this way, we are making this cosmic wheel of cooperative action continuously moving. So we know what is yajna, which we should not give up. We know what is daan, which we should not give up. Then we come to tapa. Tapa is acts of penance, acts of austerity. Why should we not give this up? Because we are on the path of being 100% sattvic. And for being 100% sattvic, the acts of tapa will help you to discipline your mind. It will help you to discipline your senses. It will help you to make your mind ekagra, focused, single-pointedly focused on your spiritual goal. And you will have a lot of disturbance by sharing your resources because you want to hoard. You will have a lot of difficulty doing all these yagnas, doing your duties, boring, troublesome, tedious. I have to keep doing. You will need tapa. This will be the tapa. By doing what is difficult, you are purifying yourself. That's the basic bottom line. So why should it not be renounced? Bhagavan clearly tells us this. Yagyo danam tapaschaiva pavanani. All these are purifiers. All these are purifiers. So we know what we have to keep doing, what we do not have to renounce. But the most important thing is, how should we do these actions? And that I will tell you. That's the second question which comes to mind, but I will tell you next Thursday. Right now, for 1 week, check out how much yajna are you doing? How much duties and dharma are you doing? How are you fulfilling your responsibilities? What are you really sharing with others? And what are the tapa? How are you forbearing? How are you managing to overcome the difficulties? Don't forget, sannyas means to renounce an action. Tyag means to renounce the desire for the fruit of the action. First, get rid of the desire for the fruit of the action. The action will simply fall by itself. Stay with this. It's too beautiful for words. Om. 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 Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityarma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Chidarpanam.